The Nintendo Switch has been going on a very strong 5 years, and every year we get games released by Nintendo for the system. 2017 was probably one of the best years for Nintendo Switch games, as we got games such as Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, all in one year. And we haven't really seen a year like that where we've seen multiple major release titles coming out back to back to back like 2017 for the Nintendo Switch. However, I think 2022 is the year that could beat 2017's Nintendo Switch lineup. Hi, my name is Monado Max, and today we're going to be discussing why I believe 2022 is going to be the best year for Nintendo Switch when it comes to Nintendo publishing games for the system. I mean, let's already get started with one of the major releases that came out right at the start of the year, which was Pokemon Legends Arceus. Everyone's playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. People are calling it one of the best Pokemon games of all time. It's such a different game, and it's so addicting. It's selling like crazy, and this is just the first game Nintendo released. Granted, it's Pokemon Company, Game Freak, all of that stuff, but it's still a major release for the Nintendo Switch. Not to mention, with Pokemon, we're getting another major mainline Pokemon game at the end of the year with Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, which is going to be following some paths of what Pokemon Legends Arceus did, which to me is insane. I can't wait to see what's happening with the Pokemon series now. As somebody that has not been a major fan of Pokemon since probably Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, Pokemon Legends Arceus brought the love of Pokemon back into me, so I'm really excited to be seeing whatever's happening with Pokemon Violet and Pokemon Scarlet. We also just saw the release of Triangle Strategy, which to me, different game. It's one of the Octopath Travelers. I haven't had a chance to really play much of it, but a lot of people are talking about the game still, and you know, for some people, this game is a very big deal, and that came out this year. All the games we've had released so far for this year, but we've had continuous announcements from Nintendo on their release schedule. The latest Nintendo Direct brought a lot of game announcements of what's coming this year. So let's just go ahead and get started. We got Kirby coming out in a few weeks, a 3D Kirby game. We have never seen a 3D Kirby game before, and that's coming out this year in 2022, which, again, we're already off to a great start. That's 3 games in 3 months, basically. We had Pokemon, Triangle Strategy, Kirby, and this Kirby game looks like it could be really fun. I haven't played much of the Kirby series, so I'm really excited to actually play this Kirby game. And then we also have Advance Wars, which it's possible this game might not be coming out this year now with everything that's happening with Ukraine and Russia, which is very understandable. I'm just putting it in this release of 2022 because it was scheduled to come out a few weeks ago from now. We don't have a release date for the game. I would assume it still comes out this year possibly, but I could also see it just not coming out this year at all, which is, again, very understandable why the game's not coming out. So one game that's coming out at the end of April is Nintendo Switch Sports. This is one that I think is going to be talked a lot about this year, as it's bringing a lot of content at first, and then it's going to have more free updates coming at a later date. This is a huge game for the Nintendo Switch, as a lot of people wanted a Wii Sports type game on Nintendo Switch. We saw with Clubhouse Games, a lot of people bought that game because it had some of the Wii Sports elements into that game, and it was the only way we had a Wii Sports on the Switch. This time we're getting a full-on Wii Sports for Nintendo Switch. So I'm actually really pumped for Nintendo Switch Sports. It comes out at the end of April. That's a huge title for the Nintendo Switch, and that's only April. There is so much coming out this year. Speaking of summer fun, we got Splatoon 3. We know that's coming out this year. We don't know when it's coming out this year, but it's going to come out summer. I mean, if they're not releasing that in summer, I would be really surprised. Looking at Splatoon's track record of release, they always released in summer. So I'm guessing this game is probably going to be coming out around July or August of this year. But when that game comes out, everyone's going to be playing that. Splatoon 2, when that came out, everyone went crazy for that game. Anytime Splatoon came out, everyone went crazy for it. And with Splatoon 3, it's going to be no different. Me personally, I am very pumped to be playing Splatoon 3. I got Splatoon 2. I didn't have as much as fun I did with that one compared to the first Splatoon game, but I think Splatoon 3 is going to bring back that core audience inside of me to play more Splatoon, if that makes sense. I'm very pumped. I don't know how popular it's going to be this year, considering we have so much coming out this year for the Switch. but I think this is going to be another one of those games like Nintendo Switch Sports where it's going to be talked a lot about. Mario Strikers, the return to that series. Everyone's been wanting a Mario Strikers game, and now we're finally getting the return to that series. It's been what, since the Wii, since we got a Mario Strikers game? So I know a lot of people is excited for that. I've never played a Strikers game. I'm pumped for that, but that's another major addition to the 2022 lineup of Nintendo. It's coming out June. Speaking of June, we got Fire Emblem Three Hopes. This one was kind of a surprise. I really didn't think they were going to make another Fire Emblem Warriors game. Me personally, I'm not too excited for this game just because I thought Fire Emblem Warriors was an okay game. I didn't really want to see much more of that. What I really wanted was a Xenoblade Warriors game. That to me makes the most sense, and I'm surprised that we have not gotten that yet. But I do think we will eventually one day get that Xenoblade Warriors game. If we don't get that game, I'm going to be so upset, but that's coming out at the end of June. We know that at some point this year, Bayonetta 3 is coming out. You know, a lot of people have been waiting for Bayonetta 3 ever since that was announced at the Game Awards 2017, and now we finally got some news on it last year at September Nintendo Direct, where it was coming out for sure this year. We saw gameplay. I wouldn't be surprised though if we saw this game get delayed, and the only reason why I'm saying that, I can't imagine a world with the amount of games that we got coming out this year for the Switch that they're going to put Bayonetta close with something like Xenoblade Chronicles. The ideal release date, if it was to come out this year, I feel like Nintendo would want September and October, and we have another big September game that we'll be talking about later, and I don't know how Nintendo's going to do about some of these games. And then I'm assuming this is Nintendo's big holiday game, and I'm pretty sure it's coming out this year. I feel like it was supposed to actually come out earlier this year, but it got delayed. That's Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I have always felt that this game was going to be coming out March of this year, and the only reason why I said that is because Nintendo actually showed gameplay for this game. If you look at Nintendo's track record when it comes to announcing games, they don't show gameplay until we are nearing a release date. And with that Breath of the Wild E3 trailer, they said it was going to be coming out in 2022. It's 2022, we did not heard anything about Breath of the Wild since June of last year. So I'm assuming it is definitely probably their big holiday game, just because, you know, we haven't heard anything yet. And I think, brain meat's going off. I really feel that game was supposed to come out maybe on the anniversary of the Nintendo Switch. I don't know, that might be a crazy theory I'm having. We have another game coming out from Nintendo this year that, you know, a lot of people might not consider a Nintendo game because Nintendo's not the one developing it, but I'm considering Nintendo a Nintendo game just because Nintendo's the one publishing it. They're not the one developing it, but it's Alive. That's supposed to be coming out July of this year. That's gonna have honestly, that's probably gonna be one of the rarest Nintendo Switch titles. We're not seeing many people talk about it too much. It has a very small fan base because, you know, it hasn't come to America before. Over in Japan, I believe the game's actually already out, like the original form of it. This is like a remake with the whole Octopath engine where it looks 2D, 3D, the really cool art style Square Enix has made. That's supposed to be coming out this year in July. I think it's going to be a rare Switch title. I think it's going to be fun though. I'm definitely picking it up. It's a unique thing to have on their lineup, especially with Triangle Strategy coming out, Octopath, all that. The hype of these 2D, 3D games is going to grow, and we're going to see more of these 2D, 3D games. Now, this is one that I am really excited about. Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope. This is supposed to come out this year. We don't know anything about the game. It's a game that Ubisoft is developing. I was a big fan of the first game. I always recommend it to people to buy Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle because that's one of the best Switch titles on the Nintendo Switch in my opinion. Not to mention, the game is so fun. I know a lot of people will instantly hate the game because Rabbids. I mean, the Rabbids are an annoying character. But I'm telling you, if you can get the Rabbids out of your mind, give this game a chance. It actually makes sense as a crossover of Mario and Rabbids. So this one is gotta be my most anticipated for the year. I mean, it's quite obvious why I'm excited for this one. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I mean, my name's Minato Max. Obviously, I was gonna say that's my most excited. That's coming out this year, September. I can't believe we're getting it so soon. I mean, I say so soon, but Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was 5 years ago. We had the definitive edition of Xenoblade Chronicles in 2020. So I guess it just, to me, with the amount of Xenoblade stuff we've been getting for the Switch, I guess it just feels like I've been playing Xenoblade every other year. So I'm happy that we're getting another Xenoblade game for the Switch. Really hope we get that Xenoblade X port for the Switch. You know, a lot of people want to see that. Considering the Wii U is about to shut down in terms of its eShop, I hope that they'll reconsider on adding that to the Switch. So I just counted all the games that we talked about, and I don't think I've missed out anything about in terms of games coming out this year from Nintendo, but we got 15 games coming out from Nintendo this year. That's crazy. There's 12 months. 15 games? I'm just saying, that's pretty crazy that we're getting that many games this year. Not to mention a lot of like pretty big titles. Splatoon 3, Xenoblade 3, Mario Strikers, Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. There's so much happening. I mean, and that's not counting what's going to be other to be announced. I mean, there's obviously more stuff coming out this year from Nintendo, because at E3, if an E3 happens this year from Nintendo, they're going to announce one big thing. I think we're going to have probably 2 to 3 more game announcements this year, and those are 2 games that will be coming out this year. So I'm pumped. I'm really pumped for Nintendo this year. I think this is going to be a better year than 2017. I know the thing that we're missing is like a big Mario game this year. Who knows, we might see another big Mario game this year, considering we got the Mario movie in December. I don't know, but I'm pumped for this year. I definitely want to know what you guys think on this year's Nintendo lineup, because I think it's such a good, strong, very strong lineup. If it's not the best lineup, it's got to be one of their second to third best. I want to know what you guys think of their lineup this year, though. So make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out my Twitter, check out my Instagram, check out the Discord server, check out my Twitch, check out, I think that's everything. Did I say Instagram already? It's all in the description below. I will see you guys in the very next video. I hope you guys like this new setup. We are working on the lighting. This is my first time using this brand new camera. We're gonna have to order studio equipment, lights, and all that. So I know my skin is probably like really white, but just bear with me. We're getting used to all this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.